Okay, we're live. Okay, everybody, this is the question and answer session with Miss Camaron Cartwright. She presented the art of the side hustle. And so she'll be with you for the next few minutes, about 20 minutes exactly. And you can ask her any question you like. Just put your question in the side and I'll make sure she knows what it is. Our first question, Cameron, I think you got was, wow, Cameron, you are an adjunct doctoral candidate, cosmetologist, and baker. How do you juggle it all?
So that is probably one of the biggest questions that people ask. But like I mentioned in my session, planning is key for me. I cannot operate without a plan. And scheduling. Scheduling is a big thing because everything that I do takes so much time. So I have to make sure that I have the proper time to give it. I can't cut any corners. I can't cut anything short because then the product is going to be no good. So I need to be able to give everything its full attention. And in doing so, I just have to have a really, really tight and precise schedule and plan accordingly as best that I can.
That's good. So that answers the question, why is time so important? Everyone wants a fast return when considering a side hustle. How have you addressed time management to successfully get things done? What are some specific tips that you can share with us regarding managing our time so we can execute a side hustle? So many people struggle with this without a side hustle.
That's true. So I will say that for us right now, we live in like a instantaneous world. Everybody wants everything right now, but you do have to understand that everything is a process. So in understanding that you can't look for things to happen overnight. So I would say for anybody, not just for a side hustle, but in life in general, you have to be willing to put in the time and you have to be willing to allow things to work themselves out while still completely doing your part. Now, as far as time management, a lot of people do struggle with that, but again, that kind of tails back to the planning and the scheduling aspect of things. I know for me, everybody has phones. We have calendars in our phones. I have actual physical planners. I have a white writing everything down. And with us as humans, a lot of things settle better with us with like repetition because it just kind of gets set in our mind. So if you have an idea, of what to expect for the day or what to expect for the week, or what you need to do, plan ahead of time. I know for me, an example of that now is some of my clients, as far as cosmetology is concerned, they have booked appointments far out to like September. But I don't mind that because it enables me to plan accordingly. So as time goes by, I do have the availability to do so. I can give them what they want. But aside from my clients, I can also plan for myself. So it's really just a matter of taking a step back and allowing yourself a moment to just kind of overlook everything and literally map everything out. And it doesn't mean that you may not have to make adjustments, but that's the beauty of having a plan. It's not set in stone. You can always make adjustments and do so accordingly. And then, like I mentioned too, there's always the unknown. So even, if you are the best planner or the best time manager, things always happen. And sometimes you have no idea when those things are going to happen. But if you have some type of baseline and blueprint, of what you were planning to do and what you're expecting, then it makes it a little bit easier to kind of maneuver through those things.
Awesome. So one question before we answer the question that we have next. How do you keep from burning out?
Okay, so
'Cause
I'm
you
going to
got a
be
lot going
completely
on,
honest.
girl.
I'm going to be so completely honest. I do burn out sometimes. And I'm pretty sure it's not surprising to you guys because that is a lot that I have to do. But it happens, and when I burn, I crash. Like I crash hard. I try not to do that, but again, there's always the unexpected. So although I have a schedule at the salon, clients rate, things happen. So inevitably, that can throw things off when I get home. To prepare my order, or if I say, okay, I'm gonna get off at 5, I'll be home at 5:30. I can bake this cake, and that cake can cool by 7:30. I can do my homework. I'll do my homework, from 7:30 to 10:30. I'll, crumb coat my cake, put that in the refrigerator, and I'll be in the bed by 12 o'clock. Those 12 o'clock nights easily turn into 2, 3, 4 a.m. because of things that happen that are out of my control. And even with baking, you have to leave room for error. So although I bake all the time, small things can happen. Sometimes there have been times where I've dropped cakes and I have to go back to the beginning because I can't give anybody a cake that's falling on the floor. And at that point, I don't even have anything to create. So I have to go back to square one. So it's just a number of things that can happen. So I do try my best not to burn out. And one thing that I also struggle with, which is something that you will also find as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, in life in general, and having a side hustle, it can be hard to say no because in these businesses, especially as an entrepreneur, you want to get all the money that you can. So once you've identified, your target market and your customer, and you have those consistent customers, and you are attracting the customer base that you want, it's really hard to say no. So there are times where I'm like, okay, well, I'm not taking any last minute orders. Like when I started my doctoral program, that was one thing that I told myself, I'm not taking last minute orders because it's just too much that comes with it. It's not rushed for me because I know what I'm doing, but time wise, it can be a little bit of a crunch, but I still do it. So I'm just, I don't know. It makes
Okay,
it
so
difficult and it's hard to say no, but
well, we have to
it
learn
takes
the
time.
art of no. I know about that. Okay, so
Yeah.
Sonia Cartwright said, Cameron, thank you for sharing your story information. It was amazing. We also have a question. Are there any apps that you recommend to assist with planning?
So, I will say the one app that is free that is on everybody's phone is just simply the calendar. And I know phones vary as far as the calendars go, but if you go into like the settings of the calendars, they have different colors that you can associate with different things that'll help you kind of differentiate. So I know in the iPhones they have like
So can
blue
you
and
repeat
purple.
that? Can you repeat it because
Mhm.
the connection messed up and it was kind of
Uh-huh.
mixed up what you said. What app did you say was that?
No, I said just a free app that comes with everybody's phone is just the calendar. And in the calendars, they have different presets, like color coordinated presets that'll help you, differentiate between what you have to do. And that works really well for me. I have a color set for my personal things that I schedule. I have a color set for my cosmetology, for my clients. I have colors set for my cake orders. And I repeat all of these things in every calendar that I have, and anything that I have where I'm noting what I have to do so that I can differentiate between the two. But it also, without me having to think too hard about it, I can pinpoint what it is that I have to do. Now, depending on the industry that you're in, they do have like scheduling apps that are specific to those industries. So, for instance, um, as a cosmetologist, excuse me, I use a app called Gloss Genius, and it constantly sends me notifications, and it keeps me really up to date with everything that I have to do. Sometimes I don't even have to look because they're sending me notifications already. So that actually kind of cuts back a little bit for me because I don't have to do so much legwork. Now, there is an app called Square Up, and Square Up is pretty much general for any business. It allows you to schedule, it allows you to take payments. They even have an avenue for you to create your own website that links directly to your Square. So that also makes things a lot easier too. Square is probably the number one recommendation that I would have because it's pretty general. You can use it for any business.
Okay. I don't know if that came through clear for other people, but that kind of got mixed up in the galaxy
A
somewhere. It
little
was sound,
jumbled.
yeah, that sounded a little messed up. But that's okay. We'll find out if that's what we need. Did you have any mentors or coaches along on your journey?
Um, Directly, no, but indirectly, yes. So for cosmetology, my mom is kind of in the background. And then business wise, I kind of just follow the blueprint of people that I've seen. Being a coppin, sorry, it makes me emotional because I have to get myself together. Give me 1 second.
That's okay. Take your
One
time.
second.
It's all good. Bless the Lord. We thank you for sharing the information that you shared already.
Yeah, but coppin has done so much more for me.
Oh, okay.
They know it really has. And being in the College of Business, it really helped me to blossom. I'm an introvert by nature, so I'm always baffled at the fact that I'm an entrepreneur because I'm not one of those people that, put themselves on the forefront and things like that. But Coppin truly pours into their students, and it's like a family. I'm sorry that I'm a little broken up, but
That's okay.
it's really like family. And, and I aside from academia, just seeing, the growth of so many people within the College of Business, and even Dr. Williams and how he tirelessly, puts so much into copping for the students, and it shows. And that was one of the main people that I actually followed in the shadows. Of course, he didn't know, but I watched him and all the work that he's done, and a lot of people in the College of Business. Dr. Lucas, she is also a Coppin alum, and she was actually on a panel yesterday. She does a lot, and it's just a lot of entrepreneurs that I follow that have really just kind of set the pace and set the tone. And they don't know that they mentor me, but I do follow so much of their work, and I try to implement it, as best I can and tweak it to work for me and what I'm doing. But those would be my mentors. I'm sorry I got emotional, but
Well, no, that's okay.
Coppin has
That
really done
makes
a lot
me feel
for me.
happy that I go to Coppin now. So I have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, I advocate for copping. It's small. It's like a diamond in the rough, but it's so much there. And a lot of the faculty, and administration, they just work really, really hard to get copping on the map and, provide resources for students and even just the community, just to get people going and help people see their potential and, give them resources and connections. It's just so much. But those are my mentors.
Okay, so CEW Tate said thank you. They really enjoyed your presentation. We have a question that says, "What do you do for self care?"
Self
We hear
care.
you say you take care of everybody else. So, what do you do for self
Yeah.
care?
So self care, I do like to go out with my friends. We do, on the weekends, and that is something that you also have to work into your planning too. You have to plan time for yourself. It's good to plan for your business. You must plan for your business, but you have to work yourself within those plans. So when I can, Monday typically an off day for me. So I'll try to get a massage like monthly. I get my nails done like once every 3 weeks. I go out with my friends. That's been a little limited because of COVID, but um, I spend time with my family. I like to travel. That has also been limited because of COVID, but I try to get at least like 3 to 5 vacations in a year. So that's a big self care thing for me. Just being able to like step away and not have to worry about anything, because when I do step away, it allows me to kind of completely cut everything that has to do with business. Like when I'm at home and I take a day off, if somebody, emails me or texts me or calls me, it's easy to kind of fall back into it. So I say Monday is an off day, but if somebody says, "Oh, can I get a cake for Saturday?" or whatever, then I'm automatically having that conversation and I've just, scheduled another job. So traveling, I would say, is probably the biggest self care for me.
Okay. So Sylvia White, owner at Rock Solid Virtual Solutions, says, "How does a new entrepreneur learn who their target customer is or will be?"
So I will say that that is a trial and error type of thing, because you do have, so like I mentioned in the planning aspect of it and your brainstorming, you want to have a visual of what your customer looks like. And on a day to day, we see a ton of different type of customers when you're in Walmart, Target, the mall, all kinds of things. Even when we shop online, you read reviews and you can kind of see the type of people that people are based on the way that they write their reviews and what they're saying. And with that, you kind of visualize the type of customer that you actually experience, different type of customers, to be able to actually pinpoint who it is that you want to service. So as a cosmetologist, when I was younger, I was servicing people that were, in high school and college. At 30 years old, I'm not looking for necessarily, a college and high school student. I'm looking for someone that's, along the same lines as myself, that's established, has a career, respectful of time. It's a number of things that you look for, but it took a while for me to be able to pinpoint exactly what type of customer I'm looking for long term to sustain my business. So it is trial and error. So you have your visual of what you want your customer to look like, and you have to actually go through the trenches, so to say, to actually pinpoint what that customer is or what they look like.
Okay, good. So Ariel Cartwright says, yes, Kaplan has been instrumental as the foundation for her career as well. So it looks like Kaplan University is a whole family affair. I see Ariel Cartwright, Sonia Cartwright. I see everybody in here. So is Kaplan like a college where your whole family attends?
It can be, yes. So many people do attend Coppin. I will say I went to Coppin. My mother, my sister, my aunt, my cousins, you, my cousin, everybody. We have a lot of family at Coppin. I've had other cousins too that I can't even think of right now, but I have so many family members that have gone to Coppin. So Coppin is really a staple for us, and it's really, really done a lot for us.
Okay, well, we have 4 more minutes left. Do anybody
All
else
right.
have anything they want to say? I want to thank you for the
Oh,
rich information. Oh, we have Jordan Qualls. That looks like another family member. How has
yes.
COVID affected your business, and what advice would you give to young people starting during these times?
So COVID has been somewhat of a setback for me, more so last year than this year, because when they closed the non-essential businesses, that literally halted all of my money. Now I was able, surprisingly, to sustain with my baking business. I was actually really shocked at the amount of orders that I was getting because people couldn't have functions. But what I found was that people were kind of overcompensating with what they could do in home, so they were willing to pay more to create, what they couldn't because of COVID. So COVID did yield somewhat of a loss for me, but it was also a time to evaluate and kind of reflect and redo some things. So with that, well, we're not out of COVID, but being able to, be up and operating again, I did make some changes in my business. So I did relocate to a smaller space, which was more cost efficient for me with my salon. I was also able to save a lot of money because with my baking and with the non-essential businesses closing, I didn't have to pay, rent. They covered that for us. So all the money that I would be putting out, I was actually able to save. So it's also all in perspective too. You can either have a mindset that everything, is just done and you can't really move forward, or you can kind of sit back and think, what can I do now? Like, how can I make this work for me? And that's basically what I did. So if you are looking to start a business right now, I would say to definitely implement those 5 points, and really more so the first three right now, because it's definitely going to be a building process, and it'll be a little bit different because of the restraints of COVID. But this is really an opportunity to just kind of brainstorm, figure out, what you may want to do. And because things have changed so much with COVID, it's actually an ideal time to find a niche, because people are looking for, things to do. They're looking for places to spend their money at, because it didn't affect everybody financially. So this is the perfect time to really just take some time to think and figure out what it is you may want to do. And then just, get your plan together so that when you do feel confident enough and stable enough as far as the economy and, the world right now is concerned to move forward, you have, a plan to do so.
Okay, Matthew Minson, the owner at the Minson Group, said, your presentation is very inspiring. Thanks for sharing
Oh,
your experience. It's a reminder of how much Kappan actually invested in me and continues to invest in the next generation of leaders. So we coming
yes.
down to the end, to the close. We only have like a minute and a half left. I personally want to thank you for the information that you shared. It was really enriching information, enlightening information. And I don't know if anyone else in this chat has any more questions, but if you have any closing remarks you want, you can go ahead with those now because we had a minute and a half.
Okay, so there's no more questions at all.
I don't see any more. Nope.
Okay, so I just want to thank you guys for joining me. For watching my session, for asking all of your amazing questions. I hope that those 5 tips can actually be very useful to you, even if you do have a business. It could kind of guide you to reevaluate and just make sure that your business is the best that it can be. I want to make sure, or I would say, to remain open to knowledge. We don't know everything, and things are forever changing, so you don't want to be one of those, entrepreneurs or, employees or business people that, are so set in their ways that they're not open to change. Change is beautiful, and you just have to find a way, to work within that change. But other than that, I just want to thank everybody, and I hope that everybody is staying safe, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. They have 30 seconds if they want to get one in before we go off the line.
Yes.
That was
Any more
great.
questions?
That was awesome. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. I didn't
Thank
have like a
you.
bio to read, but just in case y'all missed it, she had her bachelor's from Coppin, she got her master's from Walden, and now she's in her doctoral program at Walden. So it's a matter of time, and we'll be calling her Dr. Cartwright. 3, 2,